Welcome. Today we will discuss Ohm's law. George Simon Ohm was a German physicist. He conducted a series of experiments to find the relation between current flowing through a conductor and the potential difference between its ends. Through his investigation, he arrived at some conclusion. This conclusion is famously known as Ohm's law. Today we will discuss the theoretical aspects of Ohm's law. Okay, we shall start now. Now, Ohm's law can be defined as follows. At a constant temperature, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference between its ends. So, we may notice that the temperature is made a constant. Then the current flowing through the conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference between its ends. That means the current is proportional to V, that is I proportional to V, where V represent the potential, I represent the current. Or we can also write V proportional to I. And if V is proportional to I, we can change this proportionality relation into equality. That is, V proportional to I means V is equal to a constant into I. Or we may write V is equal to I into R. That means this R is the constant, or R is the constant of proportionality, and R is called resistance of the circuit. The unit of this resistance is ohm, so this is the symbol of the ohm. Since I proportional to B is like A proportional to B relation, the relation between I and V can be graphically represented. Here we take potential V along the x-axis and I along the y-axis. Then the relation between I and V is shown here. That means as V increases, there is a corresponding increase in I also. Or the graph is at or the straight line is at a 45 degree. And Ohm's law holds good if the temperature is a constant. And when the temperature changes, the resistance varies. That is why in the definition it is start with at a constant temperature. At a constant temperature, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference between its ends. So, since temperature is made a constant, I is proportional to V. That means what? If the temperature is not a constant, then I will not be proportional to V. Then reciprocal of this resistance is called conductance. The symbol of conductance is K. That is, we may write K is equal to 1 by R. Then what will be the unit of this conductance? The unit of conductance will be reciprocal of that of the resistance. That is, it is ohm inverse. That is 1 by ohm. The unit of conductance is 1 by ohm. 1 by ohm is also called ohm inverse, or ohm inverse like this with a symbol you can write. And the ohm inverse is also called mho. You just read it from the other side. So it is mho. So ohm inverse is also called mho. Mho, or also it is called Siemens. Siemens is another unit of this conductance. Then this resistance of a conductor depends on many factors. One factor is the length of the conductor. So how the resistance depends on the length of a conductor. And for this we are considering a small conductor. The length of this conductor is, suppose it is equal to say 1 meter, and the resistance of this 1 meter wire is suppose 1 ohm. Then we take one more piece of wire of same length, say 1 meter, which is also having a resistance of 1 meter. Now we are joining these two pieces so that we are getting a bigger length of wire. So when combined, when these two pieces of wires are combined, we will get a single stretch of wire, and that single stretch of wire will be having say 2 meter, because 1 meter plus 1 meter is equal to 2 meter. So we may get a wire of length say 2 meter, and suppose this is our new wire of length 2 meter. Then for each piece, that means for the first 1 meter the resistance is 1 ohm, then for the second 1 meter the resistance is 1 ohm, therefore the total resistance is 2 ohm. That means when the length of a conductor increases, the resistance also increases, or we can say what R is proportional to L. So we had two pieces of wires, each of which was having a length of 1 meter and resistance 1 ohm. Then we combined these two to get a single stretch of wire of length 2 meter. So for the first 1 meter part the resistance is 1 ohm, for the second part also 1 ohm, so 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 ohm. That means when the length increases, resistance also increases. So when when L is equal to 1 ohm, R is equal to 1 ohm, and when L is equal to 2 meter, R is equal to 2 ohm. So for 1 meter 2 ohm, 1 meter 1 ohm, and 2 meter 2 ohm, and so on. That is why we are writing R is proportional to L, or we can say the resistance is directly proportional to the length of the wire. Then another factor on which the resistance depends is the area of the conductor. Area of the conductor. Suppose we have a wire as shown here with this much area, and we know electrons are actually present on the surface of the conductor. So this is a conductor, and we can assume the electrons, the free electrons are distributed equally or on the surface of this conductor as shown here. So a uniform distribution of free electrons is made on the surface of this conductor as shown here. So all the dots represent the free electrons, and all these free electrons are present on the surface of the conductor, not in the interior of the conductor. The free electrons are present on the surface, not in the interior of the conductor. Then consider another wire for which the area is more, right? There is more area of cross section. There is more area of cross section means what? There is more area available for the free electrons to present, right? So now there is more area available for the electrons to present, or for the free electrons. So, and what is current? Current is the flow of these electrons per second. So since there are more number of electrons present, there is more current present. There is more current simply means what? There is less resistance. So when you compare these two conductors, this conductor is having more area. There is more area means what? There is, or there are more number of free electrons present. So there will be more current, and the more current means what? There is more current means less resistance. That means what? When we increase the area of a conductor, the resistance decreases. So it is a big question. Why the conductance increases when the area increases? Because when the area increases, there will be more large number of free electrons present on the surface area, and current is defined as the rate of change of flow of electrons. So more number of electrons will flow per second, and as a result there is more current, or we can say resistance decreases. So resistance decreases means what? the relation between area and resistance will be inverse. That means R is inversely proportional to area. The resistance is inversely proportional to area, or R is equal to 1 by A. Now we can combine these two relations, that is R proportional to L and R proportional to 1 by A can be combined into a single form. That is R is proportional to L by A. That means R is proportional to length and R is inversely proportional to area. Now this proportionality can be converted to equality by multiplying with a constant. That means R is equal to a constant into L by A, and this constant is rho. So this is a Greek letter rho, and this rho represents the resistivity of the material. So R is equal to rho into L by A. So this is how the resistance depends on the length of the conductor and the area of the conductor. So when you increase the length of the conductor, resistance will increase, and when we increase the area of the conductor, the resistance will decrease. Okay, then now what is this resistivity? So from the equation R is equal to rho into L by A, we can rewrite rho as what? RA, that is resistance into area divided by L. Then suppose area A is equal to 1 unit, say it is 1 meter square, and length is also 1 unit, say 1 meter, if these units are in SI units. Then we can see that rho is equal to R into 1 by 1, which is R only. That means what? If A is equal to 1 unit and L is equal to 1 unit, then the resistivity is nothing but the resistance. So this way we may define the resistivity. That is, resistivity is the resistance of a conductor of unit length and unit area. Resistivity is the resistance of a wire of unit length and unit area. So it is the definition of resistivity. Then reciprocal of resistivity has another name. So reciprocal of resistivity is called conductivity. Reciprocal of resistivity is called conductivity, and sigma is the symbol for the conductivity. So mathematically we can write sigma as, or sigma is equal to 1 by rho. Sigma is equal to 1 by rho. Then we may find the unit of this sigma, but for that first we need the unit of rho. And what is unit of rho? Rho is equal to what? Rho is equal to RA by L. And what is the unit of R? It is ohm. And what is the unit of area? It is meter square. And the unit of length is meter. So unit of rho is ohm meter square divided by meter. Then m and 1 m of m square will cancel, and what is remaining is ohm meter. So unit of rho, unit of resistivity is ohm meter. So ohm meter represents the unit of resistivity. Then we can find the unit of conductivity. So unit of conductivity will be what? Unit of conductivity will be the reciprocal of unit of resistivity. That is, it is 1 by ohm meter. 1 by ohm meter. And what is 1 by ohm? 1 by ohm is also called mho, that we have seen. So it is mho divided by meter, or mho per meter. The reason is ohm inverse is equal to mho. Also this mho is equal to what? Siemens. Therefore Siemens per meter is another way of representing the unit of conductivity. Now we have the relation I is equal to N into A V E. So this is the relation connecting current and drift velocity from the previous class. And what is V, or what is the drift velocity V? V is equal to E tau by M. This we have already seen. Therefore we can rewrite this current as N into A into E by M into tau. Into E also, because I is equal to this much into E. Therefore I is equal to what? N E square A tau divided by M into E, where E represents the strength of the electric field that we know. That is, I is equal to N E square A tau E by M. But we have seen that E is equal to V by L, where V is the potential and L is the length or the distance between the two plates of a capacitor. Therefore I is equal to N E square A tau by M into, in place of E we can write what? V by L. So this E, the strength of the electric field E, is replaced by V divided by L. Then we can rewrite this current as I is equal to N E square A tau by ML into V. Here this N is the number density, a constant. E, the value of E is 1.6 10 raised to minus 19, a constant. A is the area of the wire or the conductor that we are using. And when a current flow through the conductor, this area is not going to change. So this A is a constant. Then this tau is the relaxation time for a given conductor. Tau is a constant. M is the mass of electron, a constant. L is the length of the wire, which is again a constant. So all these terms are constants. So I is equal to, you can say what? A constant into V. So N E square A tau, all these terms are constants. Therefore we are rewriting this current as I is equal to a constant, because when you multiply and divide by again this ML, again you are getting a constant. So this will give you a constant. Therefore I is equal to a constant into V, or I is equal to, or I proportional to V. And I proportional to V is the mathematical statement of Ohm's law. So I proportional to V represent the Ohm's law. Now I is equal to N E square A tau by ML into V is the equation we are getting. Now from Ohm's law we have I is equal to V divided by R. So this is from the equation of V is equal to IR, which is the statement of Ohm's law. So now we have two equations for current, and the first equation is N E square A tau by ML into V. Second one is I is equal to V by R. Now we are comparing these two equations. The equation 1 and 2 are compared. So on the LHS, you can see it is 1 by R is equal to, on the RHS, N E square A tau divided by ML. So when we compare these two equations, V by R is equal to N E square A tau by ML into V. So both V's will be cancelled. That is why you are getting what? 1 by R. 1 by R is equal to N E square A tau divided by ML. Therefore what is R? Therefore R is equal to ML divided by N E square A tau. R is equal to ml divided by n e square a tau. And again we can see that R is equal to rho into L by A. R is equal to rho into L by A. So there are two equations for the resistance R. Now we can compare the equation 3 and equation 3 and 4. Then we can write this rho into L by A is equal to ml by n e square a tau. And there are some common factors on both sides, that is L and A. So both L's and both A's will be cancelled, and what is remaining is rho. So rho is equal to m by n e square tau. So rho is equal to m by n e square tau is the equation for the resistivity. Now temperature dependence of resistance. We have already seen that when the temperature is a constant, only then Ohm's law holds good. When the temperature changes, the resistance also changes. So mathematically the dependence of resistance on temperature can be expressed as a series, that is RT is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha T plus beta T square plus gamma TQ plus etc. But now we may omit the higher terms, and before coming to that equation, what are RT, R0, alpha, beta and gamma? Here RT represent the resistance at T degree Celsius. R0 represent the resistance at 0 degree Celsius. Alpha, beta, gamma etc. are constants. And one more thing, this R0, that is resistance of a body at 0 degree Celsius, will be a constant normally. Now again we may rewrite this equation by neglecting the higher terms, that is RT is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha T. Here we are omitting higher terms like beta and gamma, and what is remaining is only alpha term. Therefore RT is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha T. So RT is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha T is the relation connecting RT and R0 after omitting the higher terms, after omitting the higher constants. Then for a conductor, suppose R1 is the resistance at T1 degree Celsius. So RT means RT is equal to R0. R0 is a constant normally because the resistance at 0 degree Celsius. RT is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha T. Here this T represents the temperature. So when the temperature is T, the resistance is RT. That is the meaning of this equation. When the temperature is T degree Celsius, the corresponding resistance is RT. Now for a temperature of T1 degree Celsius, let the resistance is R1. Then this can be represented as R1 is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha T1. Then suppose there is another temperature, say T2. So for a temperature of T2 degree Celsius, the resistance will be say R2. Therefore R2 is equal to R2 is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. So the meaning of this equation is when the temperature is T1, the resistance is R1. When temperature is T2, resistance is R2. In both cases, both R0 alpha will be will remain same, or will be having the same value. Then we may divide equation 1 by 2. That is, on the LHS it is R1 divided by R2 is equal to, on the RHS, R0 into 1 plus alpha T1 divided by R0 into 1 plus alpha T2. here both R zeros will be cancelled. Therefore R1 by R2 is equal to 1 plus alpha T1 divided by 1 plus alpha T2. Now we may cross multiply this equation to get a solution. So R2 into 1 plus alpha T2, no. So there is it is R1. It should be R1 into 1 plus alpha T2. R1 into 1 plus alpha T2 is equal to R2 into 1 plus alpha T1. So expanding, you can see that it is R1 plus R1 alpha T2 is equal to R2 plus R2 alpha T1. Then R1 minus R2. You keep the R1 here, take R2 on the other side and take it to the left side. So what you get is R1 minus R2. You are keeping R1 here, R2 taken from the other side. So it is R1 minus R2. Then this R1 alpha T2 is taken to the other side. So here it is R2 alpha T1. Then it is minus R1 alpha T2. So R1 minus R2 is equal to what? Here alpha is a common term. Therefore it is alpha into R2 T1 minus R1 T2. That is the value of R1 minus R2. From this we can find the value of alpha. And we can see that alpha is equal to R1 minus R2 divided by R2 T1 minus R1 T2. So this is the expression for alpha. And what is alpha? Alpha has a special name. Alpha is called temperature coefficient of resistance. Alpha is called temperature coefficient of resistance. And this temperature coefficient of resistance of a material can be positive or negative. Alpha can be positive or negative. So the value of alpha will depend whether the resistance is increasing or decreasing with the temperature. That is the importance of alpha. So RT is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha T is the expression representing variation of resistance with the temperature. And here if alpha is positive, then the resistance will increase with the temperature. So if alpha is positive with the increase in T, this value will also increase. That means the resistance will increase because R0 is a constant. Then since alpha is positive, 1 plus a positive value will again increase the value of the resistance. Then if alpha is negative, and before that the example conductors, alpha is positive for conductors or metals. And if alpha is negative, when alpha is negative, so this alpha is negative means what? The equation is RT is equal to R0 into 1 minus alpha T. So since it is 1 minus alpha T, with the increase in temperature T, this value will be decreasing. R0 into 1 minus alpha T means when the value of T increases, the resistance RT will decrease. So resistance decrease with the increase in temperature. Examples are semiconductors. In the case of semiconductors, we will study later that the resistance decrease as the temperature increases, or conduction increases as the temperature increases. But in the case of metals or conductors, normally when the temperature increases, there is a decrease or there is a fall of conduction. The reason is alpha is positive, and therefore with the increase in temperature, resistance increase, therefore the conduction decreases. To make it more clear, let R0 is equal to 10 ohm. We assume that for a material, the value of R0 is 10 ohm, and first we take a positive value for the alpha. Suppose alpha is equal to plus 5 units. Suppose the alpha is equal to plus 5 units, and temperature, we assume that the temperature is say 50 degrees Celsius. So for a positive alpha, what will be the value of RT? So RT is equal to, or RT means R50, that is the resistance at a 50 degrees Celsius. That is the meaning. Resistance at a 50 degrees Celsius is equal to, say R0 is 10. So 10 into 1 plus alpha plus 5 into T is again 50. So this is 10 into 250 plus 1 is 251. So 10 into 251 is nothing but what? 2510. So 2510 ohm is the resistance for a positive alpha value. Then suppose alpha is equal to minus 5 units. Now R50 is equal to R0 10 into 1 minus 5 units, because we are taking alpha as minus 5. So minus 5 into 50, that is equal to what? 10 into 250 minus 1 is 249 minus 249. So 10 into minus 249, that is equal to minus 2490. Minus 2490 ohm is the resistance. And you can see that here the resistance has a positive value, and here the resistance has a negative value. Resistance has a negative value means the resistance is decreasing. So in this case, the resistance is decreasing with the increase in temperature, and here the resistance is decreasing with the increase in temperature, and here the resistance is increasing with the increase in temperature. So that is the importance of temperature coefficient of resistance. Okay. It is with the resistance you adjust the speed of a fan. When you turn the regulator, the resistance of the circuit may increase. Then current is less, and as a result, the speed of the fan will decrease. On the other hand, if the resistance decrease in the circuit, the speed of the fan will increase. Similarly, you can increase or decrease the volume of a radio. On turning the knob, if the resistance increase, then there is a decrease in current, and as a result the volume will decrease. Now if the resistance decrease, then the current in the radio will increase, and as a result the sound from the radio will also increase. So this way we can adjust we can vary the current in a circuit, and we can vary the output. So with this we are winding up here. Thank you for watching.